hell are you doing?
Whoa! What the frick is happening? Everybody, I almost swore for the introduction. That would have been, well, actually.
Hey, it wouldn't matter though if it would get demonetized because Josh doesn't give us.
Here
the money
we go
anyway.
again.
Josh is stealing all the ad money
again,
isn't he?
Yeah, he's invested in a bank in Panama.
That's not true. That's not true. The bank is not located in Panama.
He's fleeing to the bank. Yeah.
Welcome to Plat Chat Overwatch episode 65, presented by T-Mobile. Johnny's drinking milk out of a mason jar again.
I have like 4 drinks. How many drinks do you guys have at your table right now? I got 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I only need 1.
I have all the drinks at my table by my side all times.
God, look at that.
That's weird.
Yeah, I'm double fisting milk and
Johnny's
unknown redacted drinks.
You've definitely joined the middle class now that you've got access to ice. That's how you know you're middle class, is when you've got ice in your drinks, I think.
Yeah, Johnny tries
It's even good middle class because it's the fridge ice, you know? Like the ice comes out of the fridge at the front. And quality of life on this one.
Some bougie shit.
I never had one of those.
No, me neither. I don't see how that would be necessary for any human being.
Tell you what,
it's lovely. It's
very
convenient.
convenient.
It's automatic ice.
Yeah, it's very
But if
convenient.
your water is in the fridge, isn't it already cold enough?
Exactly. Why would you need ice in a drink?
Wait, why do you have ice in the fridge?
Water in the fridge. Why do you have water in the fridge?
Is in the freezer. Why the hell would you put ice in the fridge?
For example,
okay, so the reason is actually that because when you put the glass in the thing and it drains water.
What is the thing? I have no idea what you're talking about.
So you can put the glass in, right? And it comes ice out of the fridge or the freezer, to be correct, right? But you can also press different settings. You can get ice, you can get crushed ice, you can get water. There's many options that you can put the glass in, and it gives you what you want. If you press the water button, so it gives you water, it drips so slowly, and it takes forever. It takes 30 seconds, a minute to almost fill a jar like this, right? So what you do is you press the ice setting, and you take the ice because there's more water volume per second, and so it's more faster to actually get the ice. Yes, I do that. I do this in my regular life with everything. So instead, I fill it with ice first, and then with water, and then the water level rises throughout the day as I'm drinking it, and I get my water faster in the morning.
Oh,
that's unreal.
That's pretty smart.
Who knew? There was so much to it.
Honestly, when I first started to know you guys, I thought for sure Bren was going to be the weirdest out of the 3 of you, but I'm not convinced anymore. I think Bren may be the most normal.
You think I'm the most normal? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, the more I learn about Josh and Johnny, they have these weird tendencies, and they're the scary thing. Josh has a whole cleaning routine when he gets out of the shower. He has this 3-step process that he does. And he shakes around.
That's for drying. That's for drying myself.
Whatever.
Whatever. Not for cleaning myself. By the way,
Wait,
I hate to just fling shit around, Matt. But I also know from talking to Chelsea that you take luxurious baths rather than showers.
Yeah, bro.
You use half a pot of shower gel every time you're in the bath.
Yeah,
so
I am not surprised at all. But
exactly, fling shit about people's showering routines.
I'm clean, bro. I'm just getting clean.
Bro,
out here just shaking around.
Chelsea says she has to limit the amount of shower gel that Matt uses on a day-to-day basis.
How much shower gel do you put shower gel
clean, bro,
in the bath?
Huh? You put it not in the bath. I put it on myself in the bath.
I'm saying shower gel. I don't know what it is. The cleaning product.
Soap. Yeah.
You kidding? What the fuck? Who are you people?
Yeah. Don't come at me for my drying routine. You play silly games, you get silly answers.
Okay.
Yo, there's nothing wrong with taking baths.
Wait, so if you have to
like the video and put a comment if you take a bath in the
Oh no.
So if you wake up, weird thing here is I can't come up with anything for Bren.
Bren doesn't do anything weird.
All right. So I might have to wait.
He doesn't get watched.
Going up on OBS, I can't see you guys anymore. The monitor's turned off.
Oh, okay.
That's all good.
But I can still hear you for some reason, so I'm gonna roll with it. I'll tell you what, I have had a stressful 2 weeks.
Why?
What? Why?
Because I don't know. I've just had it's like the pandemic has built up. I feel like a water bottle underneath a Brita filter that's just been left on, you know, and the stress has been
With ice or water?
Say again?
With ice or water?
Just water. Yeah, just the water.
Oh, right. Okay.
I feel like it's just been rising up.
Move on.
And it reached its peak as I was just overflowing. I had to empty it all out, you know. I had to empty out the water bottle.
How did you empty the stress, Bren?
It just kind of went away as the things I was worried about just gradually got less and less.
So
Like a guide of some sort.
As you were actually productive and did things, your stress disappeared.
Not being productive is stuff out of your control that you're waiting for. So when I was like waiting for, just before I was flying out to Texas, I was fucking mega anxious about that, about finding a house and everything else, because I always just get anxious around that time of year. It's just Christmas, you know. Christmas just puts me on edge. Something about it.
The Grinch.
Yeah, it's actually just an unsettling holiday, you know.
The Grinch.
Unsettling holiday. Anyway,
people are too happy.
What I will say is though that we came back, stress still going up pretty high, but Jack met me. Whatever he said, yeah, Bren, there was somebody screaming at the door, knocking for you, which just set me off again in my fucking crow brain. The crow part of my brain just wanted to fly away.
What have I done?
Because it's not normal for somebody to be knocking at the door, shouting at you. This is so hard doing a podcast, by the way, when I can't see any of you.
Why?
Because I don't know. I'm just like, I'm talking into the void. I see no visual reaction.
We just have our normal faces on. We haven't reacted to anything yet.
Well, I can't see.
I can unplug and replug the TV and it'll screw up the overlay for a sec.
I'm gonna
tell me more about the mystery man that was knocking at you.
Well, okay. So it was a woman. Firstly, Josh. Okay, you bigot.
Sorry.
And secondly, she was delivering something like this package. And Jack was like, yeah, she was screaming at the door. And I was like, wait, what? Anyway, I get this package and I look at it and it's just a small package. I was like, I can't remember ordering anything. What is this? You know, pretty stressful, you know, just kind of like on edge a little bit. I open it up and lo and bloody behold, look at this. iPhone 12 Max Pro sent to me straight from T-Mobile, right behind me, right here. Sent me an iPhone 12 Max Pro. Unbelievable. And I'm pretty sure you guys are going to be getting yours now, or you should have already got yours. Johnny, I think you've already got yours, right?
Yeah. We're intensely smiling right now, Bren.
I haven't gotten mine yet.
Yep. You're intensely smiling.
Yeah, with teeth.
This is a lovely little gift from T-Mobile, and that's why with 5G coverage in all 50 states, T-Mobile has America's largest 5G network. Didn't see that coming, did you? Slipped right in there. Just seamless transition like an oxbow lake cutting across. Seamless.
From T-Mobile to more T-Mobile. That was the seamless transition.
I'm pretty sure. Leave a comment if you didn't suspect it. Even better, no other 5G signal goes farther to bring you closer to the Overwatch League and keep you connected to the game. So rank up and take your wireless game to the next level with T-Mobile. Visit T-Mobile.com today. Wow.
I love how I loved the, like, you were like, guess what?
Yeah.
This is because T-Mobile has the largest network. Like, new cell phone allowed them to have the largest network.
I'm not saying that.
I mean, you're just another cell phone in T-Mobile's giga-large web of just 5G devices.
Sure, I'm not saying that if you join T-Mobile, you're going to get an iPhone 12 Max Pro, unless you want one, in which case you get a line with them. But
that costs more.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, it was a pleasant surprise from T-Mobile, and it made my day. And it really did. It brought tears to my eyes.
I think would make people's day if you give them your T-Mobile number.
We should have oh my god, why don't we have a Bren like guest line? Yeah, a Bren voice line.
I love that idea.
Yeah, we'll get a special T-Mobile phone that fans can call to talk to Bren.
Okay.
Yeah,
it stays with Bren.
Not gonna do that.
No. We won't be doing medical advice. Bren will not be giving medical advice. He will.
Can we restart
he will
the TV?
strictly tell you you're great and have fun, and that'll be it.
Yeah, I'm gonna restart the TV. 1 second,
because I can't see anything.
If Bren was giving medical advice, we wouldn't have any fans anymore. They would have all passed.
Or we would have tons of fans.
Why? Yeah, it's starting late. I mean, we're literally live right now, Jake. Yeah. This is a TV.
I have a headache. What should I do?
Come through, Jake? You gonna come through?
I am staying right here. Don't worry, I'm still here, Bren.
Yo, what's up, Jake?
There you go.
Twitch Primes.
Bro,
Don't
okay,
do that.
if ice out of the
Don't do
fridge
that.
is middle class, what is Jake's bubble vest? That's
What's
gotta
Jake's
be
bubble
like,
vest? Jake looks like
that's gotta
a,
be
a
like
New York
country
investor.
country club.
It is a lovely present. Look at it. Yeah.
What kind of bubble vest was that?
It's a little Patagonia.
He looks like his
yeah.
father owns the golf course and he just helps people out on his afternoons.
Yeah, he's not there to golf. He's just there to just watch everything work and throw
Yeah.
money.
Working. Dude, this, I don't know what's going on. Oh,
Making money.
maybe the cable.
Yeah, he doesn't
I've-
golf there, just at the really private resorts.
Oh,
You
really?
know?
I've become a beautiful sunset.
Yeah. I enjoy being a sunset. Do you think I look better as me or the sunset?
The show without
Should
mentioning
we restart
Overwatch
the
a
TV? It's
single
been on all
time
day.
where where people still carry on watching.
Well, I mean, this is kind of what you would do, right? Like if the broadcast is going haywire, it's like, well, let me save my Overwatch stuff for when the broadcast works. You would just kind of devolve into chaos until that happens.
I mean,
Hey,
we didn't even know it wasn't working. We started with chaos.
Hello,
Hey,
we're
Bren,
back. We're back now. Should we just include this in the middle?
Oh yeah,
It's yeah.
Bren,
some great banter about Jake in the middle of that. We'll just
We
put a
might not even
timestamp
have
to like.
audio during it. I don't even know.
Yeah, we don't know what the hell.
Should we just
Going on.
restart it then?
nah.
No.
Hey,
We'll put a timestamp in the description
Yeah,
and say
don't
if
worry.
you're actually interested in Overwatch,
Just
click
put a
this
timestamp that says Overwatch.
yeah.
Let's get this
People
show
in
started,
Spotify
shall
on
we?
disbelief.
You know, we talk so infrequently now that I
You
feel
wanna
like
start-
this is
you
our
wanna get
time
the
to
show started?
socialize.
Oh.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
go
let's
for
do it, Bren.
Okay, let's
worry,
start
I'll
with the
start playing
first
WoW.
topic, if that's okay,
Mass, man.
Kurt.
We can
Florida Mayhem
socialize.
picking up OG Slime and Checkmate. And we actually got to see a bit of their roster play as well in the Valiant Winter Ball. So this is a roster
Yeah.
that seems they've got a bright future. The potential doesn't seem to be met just yet in terms of their performance in the actual matches, but I'm a big fan of a lot of these pickups, honestly.
How much stock do you put in the matches that they played? I mean,
I think the teams seem to be taking it quite seriously.
Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna be that indicative of like actual season performance for next year
Right.
because there's so much time. It's gonna be a different meta, etc., etc. But you can tell which, like, if a rookie plays in some show match in the off season and they're just pounding against Owl players, you know they're legit, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the big thing that I tend to take away from it is just how do they look? Like, do the styles match up? Do the players look like they're actually hitting shots? Do they look good?
we threw out a lot of different places for OG, I guess, kind of throughout free agency, and Florida was never really one of them up until like the end here, where Fate obviously goes to Shanghai.
Mm-hmm.
I really like this landing spot for OG. I feel like it puts him in a position where he can succeed. Like he's not like the star player of the team. Like he's just the main tank that has to be a good main tank, right? Where I think where he's gone thus far, he's been asked to do a lot more than just be like the main tank. Like he went to Dallas. Obviously, he was like the face of their brand for a bit. I think you can say. He goes in a big trade over to the Gladiators. There's really big, like lofty expectations for him to play well because they obviously trade Decay for him. Where I think here he can come in and just thing and has the right players around him and a coach who's an ex-Overwatch League main tank to kind of guide him through a lot of these things. So I actually really like this landing spot for OG.
Yeah. I think a lot of the time when we consider like teams for OG, we always thought of like the dream scenario star lineup with all the big, supporters and Seoul Dynasty, Korea, Epic, Apex, New York Excelsior, Jonak, but Florida Mayhem is a team that is still, God bless them, they're still like up and coming, right? Because they had an incredible 2020 season where they greatly surpassed what they accomplished in 2018 and 2019. So they're still like a bit on the rise. And I feel like this is the perfect spot for OG as well. Actually, like when me and Josh recorded that episode with Albert this past week, you can see it here on the Plat Chat YouTube channel. I came around to the idea of OG on this lineup because, as you mentioned, with Gladiators, like huge expectation on this guy, and he didn't really live up to it for various reasons. Like, it was not only on him, it was on the team as well. Like, it just wasn't a good fit on the Gladiators, in my opinion, right? He's a fantastic potential main tank player, but like, it wasn't a good fit. And I think, as you mentioned, Matt, I think this is the perfect place because now he's on a team that hasn't built that superstar kind of hype level yet. They don't have like the most elitist supporters either. They're kind of just the good vibes in Florida Mayhem with a great coach, as you said. And I think this is a great place for him to grow. So I agree with you.
Yeah, I'm willing to give the Florida Mayhem a bit of a pass as well with the outcome of the Valiant Winter Ball, because they did have the worst showings out of all of the 4 teams that played in it. They kind of got swept in both their games in terms of the scoreline. The actual games were a little bit closer than that, but yeah, in general, I think the only thing, like you said earlier, Josh, the only thing that you can really take away from the Valiant Winter Ball. Did you say this on the podcast or was this off the podcast? I can't remember.
I just said that now.
Are you sure?
Like
just
2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I think you're lying. But yeah, like you said earlier off the podcast, the only like it's indicative, I think, of just like the individual performance from certain players. That's the one thing you can really judge.
That was definitely on the podcast. Yeah,
That was
if you're wondering,
literally
just
2 minutes
yeah,
ago.
rewind before, like right at, but when I started to talk, right
Don't
before
remember
that,
that.
that's
Yeah.
exactly what he said. Yeah.
Don't remember that.
I will.
But
Go
willing to
on.
give them a pass in terms of their overall performance, just on the basis that we're so far off from 2021, really.
Yeah, of course.
Right, in terms of when the league.
Checkmate looked good as well. Like, Checkmate
Yeah.
actually looked pretty decent on the Echo. I thought there was some potential there. I don't think they're going to be a star player when you have Yaki on the roster and BQB, but it certainly seems doable if you need to run some kind of double.
They don't need
flexible
another star
lineup.
DPS player though, or whatnot.
No,
Like,
I don't think so.
yeah.
I don't think they need it. I think, there are a couple of issues potentially with Florida Mayhem about like only having 7 players on their roster and that kind of stuff. But I think most of that gets overblown at the end of the day. Like, if you've got a good starting roster and you have some ways of subbing in an extra DPS to cover everything, you're pretty good, honestly. My biggest issue, again, comes back just to OG. And as much as Albert is confident in him, I am not. I think that there's a good chance it works out, and I think that Florida's the best place for him. But am I like absolutely confident that he's going to work out? No, because he hasn't worked out on any of his other teams. It would, I think, be a decent bet, but it still seems like a bit of a risk to me to take a
But
punt.
who did
on
they
OG.
have as an option that would have been a safe bet at this point, though? Like,
I don't know. That's a good point. I mean, I'm not really
But
sure.
I think the alternative is taking a risk on a contenders. It's like whether you believe that OG has.
but some of the top
potential.
contenders players are like your top contenders talent at main tank were already taken at this
Sure,
point.
I mean,
But
there's,
also, I mean, there's people like Stand One. There's the potential maybe to have not given up Fate. There might have been other people on the market as well that we're unaware of. It's hard to really say who the other options were, but I think OG is definitely it is still a risk. Like, the
It is
guy
a risk.
has not been able to show his potential on any of his former teams, and mostly that's because of the teams. But for me, 2020 on the Gladiators was OG's year to really prove himself, and that didn't happen. There were multiple problems with that roster, but I think one of the big issues was just his coordination with space in the front line. I don't really know whether that was OG or whether that was other people, but Florida is not just the best spot for OG, it's the last chance for OG.
That
Yes,
I can agree
it's-
with.
I would
It's
say that
his
as well.
big year. Like, if this doesn't work, there is no better team that could. I mean, unless he goes to like the Shock and they just treat him as a pet project to work on, there's no realistic option that is going to be better for OG. If this year doesn't work out, then I don't think there's a future in the league.
So I'm a bit curious here. Do you think that he has the potential at all? Do you think he's overhyped? I'm just asking if you could like dive deeper into this, because I think this statement is quite abrasive from many fans standpoint, because the general opinion seems to be that OG has the potential. He has these pop-off moments, specifically on Winston, where like he makes big plays and really wins for his team sometimes. Then he has moments on Orisa, like I agree with you, where he played Orisa with Space and like it just didn't look good at all. Like he was on one place on the point and Space was on the other. His shield timing wasn't on point at all. So I would say that OG, obviously as many others, he has potential, hasn't fulfilled it, specifically in the team chemistry department. What about that do you not like? Like, where does that kind of argument like fall apart for you going into next season?
I don't think it falls apart. But for a guy that, okay, I agree, he has ridiculous potential. The guy's mechanical skill is unbelievably good. It's up there with the absolute best in the world. It's the thing is though, main tank is not really the position where your mechanics are going to carry you when it comes to an Overwatch League level. Right? Like, that is like what 30% of the game max when it comes to main tank.
Otherwise, I would have been way more successful as a player. But
yes, of course.
Yeah, you would have been out of a job even faster as a player. I mean,
but to me,
1-1 right now. No, okay, go on.
Like the reason I'm saying that it's a risk is because a lot of the other talents that have just leapt straight out of contenders have looked really solid within the system. Like they're always in the right place at the right time. Decision making is super good. They gel with their team really nicely. They are not just that. Some of them, like for example, Rio for the Guangzhou Charge. When does Rio have a big pop-off moment? He's almost like the opposite of OG in that kind of sense. But if you're asking me who I would want on a team, I'd take Rio every day of the week because the guy is just absolutely stable and is going to give you mega consistent performances. Yeah. So to me, there's like just inherent in the way that OG plays is this inconsistency factor. And if he doesn't gel with the team, I think it could just be another meh. But the upside is enormous because the guy's mechanics are ridiculous. So if Kuki can actually coach him to work with the team super well, I could see him becoming one of the best main tanks in the league. But we've always said that about OG, and it's never happened.
You almost kind of you hope like what they can do with OG is almost like what Philly did like with Sato, right? Where like Sato didn't look really that great, but you knew he had the mechanical skill. And
so you see that
just
though.
some more time.
You say that.
You figured it out. Like
you say that, but Sato in his rookie year went to the finals.
Right, and I think Sato was way more mechanically. I think Sato's just a more skilled player individually.
He looks smarter. He has better decision making than OG. I would say.
Yes,
which is a
and I think that you can build from, specifically in the Reinhardt role.
Yeah, I mean, the most significant portion of main tank performance comes from the game sense, right? The understanding of how you're playing with the rest of your team at one time. Mechanics are only one part of it. Yeah. I mean, I think you've just summed up my thoughts on it pretty concisely, to be honest, Josh, as well. I think that if there was a team for OG to prove himself on right now, would be the Florida Mayhem. When you know that the coaching staff is solid, you've got a good foundation of a team that's surrounding him. It should have been Gladiators. It wasn't. I mean, yeah. Is he going to be getting any more opportunities after this? If this year, like 2021, blows up? Probably not. So
not on a top team, I would say.
Yeah.
Like maybe someone will still take a punt on him, like a Boston or something. But I doubt a top team would take a punt on him after
let's move on to pass.
3 seasons in a row.
Well, we didn't really talk. It's kind of crazy. What do we think of Slime for this team?
I mean, a good pickup. Just
huge.
Yeah.
I think stable main support pickup.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Chris was definitely like a weakness for this team last year, where Slime we didn't really get to see play because of all the craziness that happened with the Titans. I feel like he could be like a huge veteran presence for this team that maybe he helps OG progress as a player as well.
Possibly. Yeah, I mean, hasn't OG been surrounded by vets though for a long time? I mean, I just see
a player who is like near the top of the Overwatch League is his position.
Yeah. I mean, I like
relying on Kuki more for that than I would Slime, to be honest. But
yeah,
I don't think you're going to be finding one person though who disagrees with the Slime pickup. It's just good.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah, it's just good. I want to talk about Paris and talk about his team because they just announced their roster, right? They're starting 6, so you need 7 league minimum, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Bill,
it used to be 8, and now it's 7. Is that the rule change?
I think that's correct. Yeah,
I believe so. Yes.
So they've only got 6, so there may be more additions. But this team, when I looked at this, I just thought it was fan service to all those people back in 2018 who were pissed off that EU Contenders talent wasn't getting a shot in the Overwatch League. And I guess it still doesn't. Like EU Overwatch as a whole, do you remember before the Overwatch League, like EU Overwatch was generally regarded to be pretty good, underrated?
Better than North
across
America.
the board. Yeah, better than North America.
I would say so.
Absolutely. And yet the talent was really just, the eyes weren't really on the EU talent across the board. In a lot of places. This feels like a love letter to EU Contenders, this team, just across the board. I mean, I like the team. I like the shape of it. Naga, Onigod, I should say, Elivote, Dan, Neptuno as a veteran stable presence, and Khan. Like, I don't know. I look at this team. You've got, I mean, they're all different nationalities. It's
this team could actually do some work.
Yeah, they could.
As crazy as that might sound, this team could really do. Like, my natural place to compare this to is the Vancouver Titans from last year, because they're full teams of not full teams of contenders talent, because Onigod and obviously Neptuno have played in the league before, and Elivote as well has dabbled in the league too, though he's not quite as experienced as obviously someone like Neptuno. But the majority of this roster is like fresh out of contenders. And when I compare my expectations for these guys and my expectations for the Vancouver Titans, I'm way more confident about what these people can do. And I haven't even watched that much European contenders. I've just watched little bits of them here and there, but I think these guys are pretty talented.
Yeah. I mean, I think Europe has been untapped for quite some time. I think we've seen some individual players step up to the Overwatch League. Kevster is a great example of that. And then there are some other players around the league, but we haven't really seen a team of 6 Europeans like this. And it makes sense, right? Because you wouldn't really see the Los Angeles Valiant just like, we're gonna go full European. It's like, it doesn't make any sense, right? But now we're in a position where the Paris Eternal, they reshuffle their roster, and also the London Spitfire, we have to see what they're going to do, right? I don't think they've announced anything.
No.
So I think this is the perfect time for a European team like this to be announced. I said on Twitter after the initial signings, and I take it back slightly, I did take it back, but it didn't really happen. I said it reminded me of 2018 Philadelphia Fusion. And I get it. You lack Carpe. You don't have a superstar DPS player that just stands out in that kind of capacity. But instead of Boombox, you got Khan, you got Neptuno as main support. Instead of Pokébombs, you got Elivote Bombs. Instead of Fragi, you got Dan. It's obviously, until proven, they're not going to be on the 2018 Fusion level. For many reasons, of course. The Fusion made it to the grand finals, but before then, going into the 2018 season, a lot of people were wondering about the Fusion. Like, are they actually going to be any good? Who are these no-namers? Like Boombox, he was on United for a time moving into that, but
no one
EQO, people didn't really know any of these guys. So we from Europe, we knew that they had a talent. Fragi, he was on Giganti, was it at the time? Right? But at the same time, we've never seen a team with mixed nationalities like that, because it used to be the Finnish team, and there was Movistar Riders was mixed, and there was the Swedish team, Misfits, right? So it's rare that we see full Europeans like this in the top elite level. So this coming together, I think it's a bit of a nostalgia moment for me, because it reminds me of a team from those 2017 contenders Europe days and whatsoever. And I think they actually have some potential on this roster. Are they going to be top 10? I think that's too soon to say. But I do think that I am more confident in this team because I know that Europe has some really good players.
Yeah, I'm just impressed they're able to put this roster together. I know we've talked a lot about on this show. We were a bit worried about what this team was going to do and how they were going to end up. You'd probably say this is almost better than what you thought best case scenario could be, because I mean, I was thinking they were going to be pretty tragic when they were announced, but like you said, Josh, I think there's a lot to like about this team.
I'm now comparing them to, we don't know what London are doing obviously, but they will be the natural comparisons because London are also going for a more European centric approach. But when I compare them to Boston or Vancouver for this year coming up, I think I feel more confident about these guys than I do about either of those two teams. I just like this blend of talent. For anyone who hasn't watched Naga is really good on DPS. Onigod, we know from playing at the Overwatch League level, but also from a bunch of contenders, is also a very solid DPS. You add one more in there to create like a trio of DPS players, and I think you've got a nasty good DPS core that will be, at least as good as what Boston or Vancouver can put together.
This team is going to be like motivated as well.
Yeah, I think so.
I think this team, you're going to see them come out and really, because everybody is just pretty much going to be on the Paris traded all their good players, they have a bad team.
Well,
like
their
this
French
year,
fans
whatever.
are going to be annoyed.
Probably a little bit, but I think you're
kind
going
of
to
rightfully so as well. Considering
probably right.
Ben Best and Nico were also like involved in trials this year as well, I think, and for whatever reason didn't get accepted. Like there's been no conversation about them asking for too much. They just didn't get accepted.
Yeah, I mean, my version of this team probably would have at least Ben Best on the roster, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a bit of a no-brainer. Like, even if it doesn't play, like, why not? Well, we talked about that last episode.
I also think that...
I still think it's good,
honestly,
though.
I'm quite shocked that Onigod has slipped by a lot of teams' radars as well. Because although...
That guy's so good.
He's really good. Like, I feel like Decay stole the show when he was on the Dallas Fuel. But in terms of his mechanics and as a player, I mean, he was also one of the standout players on the Dallas Fuel at that point in time.
And he was playing on 200 ping. People always forget that. He was playing on 200 ping.
But
like, the guy's going to be a freak when you get him on low ping. He's going to be at least average in the Overwatch League, I think.
But this is an example of what we were talking about when we were had as the shock get players like Glister and whatnot. It's because situations happen like this, right? Where Onigod goes to a team that doesn't play well. We all know that Onigod is a very talented, good player. But that's kind of the first thing that people see, right? At the Overwatch League level, is kind of how his stint on Dallas went. So I think that's kind of why you see maybe teams undervaluing him a bit more, where I feel like every offseason, I know we've talked about Onigod as a player, and how is he not in the league, or why is he not on a roster, right? Like, we know he's good enough. I'm excited to see him actually get a fair shake here on Paris, probably with starting off from a much better spot than where he was starting off on Dallas, where they were kind of all over the place as he was coming in.
Yeah. I would like to see... My only issue with this roster is that I don't quite know how good the tank line is going to be, and that is mostly because of my own ignorance. I haven't watched too much of Dan actually play, their main tank player, but I am feeling confident about their DPS duo. I am feeling confident about Neptuno and Khan. I've watched a bit of Khan, and I think that he looks pretty good. But tanks often make the biggest difference with these lower level rosters. Yeah. And so that's my only slight concern. Maybe I won't be concerned if I watch more of their footage, but yeah, I'm not. Obviously, they need to add more players in order to meet the league minimum. I think another DPS and maybe another tank would be
tanks make or break rosters like this. The whole roster could be good. If the tank line falters, it's a lot of the time a dud, right? So
I think before next season, I'm gonna do 1 week where I just write up all the contenders players joining the Overwatch League, and I just write up their names, and then for a week straight, I just go through all the contenders VODs and study up on all the contenders players.
I thought you were about to say something like you're gonna put all their names in a hat and draw them out and
then make up opinions about them. And just guess. Void is a garbage tank.
Haddy, who plays for the British Hurricane, I have watched a bunch of, and he looks really good. But at the same time, I know that recently Dan put out a tweet where he said, I keep getting messages about other people being more suited for the main tank spot on Paris Eternal. All of those people were in the trials with me. They opportunities as me, and I went through. So it's a weird situation. Because I just don't know enough about him to feel confident in him, but I just need to watch more of him.
We watched him in the World Cup.
Yeah.
Over Team Netherlands. Yeah.
I can't even remember.
Yeah, they had a good run, right?
Yes, they looked okay, actually. They did well for Netherlands.
It made me a Brucen fan. It did make me a Brucean fan. Yeah. This next topic I want to move on to, if that's okay with everybody else.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. Fusion moving to APAC for 2021. When I saw this, a lot of the fans were annoyed, to be honest with you. I think because they were like, oh, I'm a Fusion fan. Why are they moving to APAC? Like, the game's going to be early morning. I'm not going to be able to watch my team. But in terms of an organization that looks out for their players, I cannot think of a better move than this. Because you are guaranteeing, I posted like a tweet, a quote tweet or whatever on this. But I think you're just guaranteeing a quality of life for your players that is not accessible in America, that's not accessible pretty much anywhere else with the state of the COVID pandemic. South Korea, generally speaking, has a lock on the situation out there. They're pretty strict in terms of who they let in and out of the country with the quarantine process. They have a very good tracing contact tracing system. Can't even speak properly.
Contract tracing. They trace down all of your contracts.
Contact tracing program. They're just on the fucking ball when it comes to COVID, right? And it's a country that if you are going to be spending the next year of your life in, it's not a bad one to be spending the next year of your life in. Now, outside of the Overwatch factor, I feel like that is incredibly important. What we saw this year from teams, like how many teams were affected by a lack of motivation just from the general situation that they were in? Just the absolute shit situation. It's the little things like being able to walk to a coffee shop or being able to go to a restaurant that genuinely do make the difference over the course of a season. Like actually having the ability to feel like you're having a life. So I feel like this is a very intelligent move from the Philadelphia Fusion to take these steps and move to APAC. And some fans, I can see where they're coming from. I can empathize a little bit with it. Like, okay, why? But you got to understand, in terms of the health and I think longevity for these players, a very, very cool move from Fusion.
Yeah, I
muted,
agree.
Josh.
I think if you wait, what?
Josh was trying to talk. He's muted.
Tried to talk and I muted myself because I was making noise.
What are you gonna say?
I was going to say, I wonder how the non-Korean players on the Philadelphia Fusion will adapt to it. Like, it's an interesting flip of the roles. For years now, it's been the Koreans having to adjust to the American culture and way of life and like what it's like to live in Los Angeles mainly. And now it's going to be the other way around for an entire year. It is. I feel like this doesn't get talked about very much because it's just a fact of life in OWL, but it is stressful. It's really stressful to live in a country that isn't yours for an extended period of time where you don't get to go home and see your family or your friends or just eat the same foods that you would normally eat and listen to your language being spoken. If you're somebody like Poco or Shockwave or EQO, for example, whose main language isn't English. So yeah, it's going to be interesting because we just kind of take it for granted that all of the Korean players at this point have adjusted. But when you flip it around like this, it is going to feel really different. Even for people like Poco, for example, who have had to move from France to the US, going from France to the US to Korea is like, it's not like the same as living in LA. It's different again.
Did you want to say something, John, or Johnny, before I jump in?
Yeah, I mean, some players take to it differently, right? I was perfectly fine staying in Korea as long as it's only good conditions, because by God, I've been living in Korea in some shitty conditions and it's tragic. But as long as you get good conditions, which we expect from Overwatch League teams, right?
Yeah.
Vancouver Titans. I think for the most part, it's actually pretty easy to adapt to the situation they're in. But some people just don't want to live in a country where their main language isn't spoken. I was really excited about living in Korea. I could see how some players are not. I'm actually going to take the opposite of Bren here. I'm going to go with a hot take. I am going to go against the grain and say that I think, I respect this Philadelphia Fusion. Yeah, it's probably best to go to Korea if you really are interested in winning the championship and playing as the best. But at the same time, the skill level in the North American region is pretty on par, right? And you hit on the the medical arguments, right, Bren, of we're during a pandemic and I get that too. America's pretty crazy right now. But I think that this is going to be a challenge for the entire franchise. Like the staff that works at Philadelphia Fusion, but also the fans that will now struggle to follow their favorite team as they play APAC match times. It's no longer like where you can be a Philadelphia Fusion fan and just like, hey, we got an afternoon game, we got an 11 a.m. game. It's like, no, it's like in the middle of the night, and if you want to catch a match, you'll either have to stay up or you will have to watch it in the morning, and you won't be able to like enjoy the action live. And I think it's going to be quite interesting to see how the fan base reacts after this, like after trying it out for a few months. I think that if you ask most people who actually are Philadelphia Fusion fans, they're like, oh, it's not going to change. I'm still loyal to the Philadelphia Fusion as a team. They're my team. I probably even live in Philadelphia. But still, I think a few months in, some of those fans might actually grow tired of going through the process, and they might actually like get interested in some other team. Worst case scenario, not follow the Overwatch League at all because they cannot watch their favorite team play because of the time zones issue.
Yeah,
If you're a New York fan, let us know what you did.
Yeah, it'll be obviously tough for the fans. I think if there's an organization that's equipped to handle this type of change, it probably is Philly. If I'm not mistaken, they do have T1 staff in Korea.
Yep.
So I assume they already have some infrastructure set up in terms of like practice facility and other different types of things for these players when they arrive. Yeah, I wonder how the competition kind of shakes out between each division this year with APAC and NA, because NA seems to be pretty loaded with like a very good teams.
Yeah,
I think it's actually better at the moment.
I didn't make the comment about the Overwatch aspect of moving, just purely from like the living in a year in a COVID world, basically from that side of things. But I
live in Korea right now, Bren. I agree.
Mate, I would absolutely. Well, here's the thing as well. What we were talking about earlier about the European players feeling, I guess, or like any sort of player feeling uncomfortable in not their home environment. I guarantee you, those European players are probably going to be more comfortable in Korea than they are in the US.
Yeah.
Because
very possibly.
Oh, you got a working public transport system. Oh, that's weird. Oh, you can walk to places. Oh, that's weird. They've been used to used to living in America. Maybe not Philly. I think Philly's actually pretty good for transport and walkability. But
yeah, I tell you what. If I have one regret about living in Korea during Apex Season 1 and Season 2, I never had a close connection with a Korean staff member or something like probably Philadelphia Fusion will obviously have that now. So those players will have a way easier time of actually getting what they wanted.
Oh yeah.
I was stuck in Korea and I was just like, help. How do I access things? How do I order food? How do I get all these things? So I just ended up going to Subway for 3 months straight with Misfits because they wouldn't eat anything else. So
you're the worst person to travel with.
Me? It was me
Actually,
and Twig.
you are the worst.
Me and Twig. We went to Korean restaurants and we played the point and click game, which was pointing at the menu and asking if you could get that thing without being able to communicate with the server. We played that game for 3 months. China, Burger King in China, it was an experience, I tell you. Press on the squid burger and just pray to God that the staff member brings you a freaking squid burger. Jesus Christ. I've been through it all, man.
But in terms of the Overwatch, this might be a hot take from me, but I feel like if you are trying to elevate your gameplay, at the moment, APAC is a worse region to play in.
Yes, and
is that a hot take? I think that's a hot take.
That would be the first time since 2016.
No, because even this year it was up and down. There was periods of time when we thought NA was better. Mm-hmm. And I think if you map our previous episodes week on week, where we were measuring the strength of each region, you would find that we would probably say that NA was stronger than APAC.
Overall?
Yeah, overall. I reckon. Think of the amount of times that Guangzhou shat the bed, that New York shat the bed, that Hangzhou didn't meet our expectations, that Seoul was inconsistent. Shanghai was the only ones dominating.
So, yeah. The entire season long, there was the same amount of good teams in both regions. There was just more easy wins in North America.
Yes, absolutely.
You do have all of the Korean contenders teams, I guess, to pick from, to scrim from as well. Yeah. So you do have a long list of teams to practice with. What's your hot take about that?
My hot take about that is that I think we overrate Korean contenders a little bit, I think, in terms of the availability of good practice from going for Korean contenders teams.
I don't even know anymore.
I do think that when we
He's
make
in
those
hit the
when we
bottle
make
with
the when we
specs.
when we
He's
make
in
the
the bottle
broad
with specs.
claim when we make the broad claim that APAC
Yeah.
is a better region to be in as a team because you get better scrim partners, I don't know if that is the case these days.
I don't know.
Well, I think you primarily have to look at the Overwatch League teams, right?
Yeah,
And that is where
Yeah.
you've had the Seoul Dynasty and the Newark Excelsior. Now we have Philadelphia Fusion, Shanghai Dragons. So I think that's what you have to look at primarily. But I think even looking at the Overwatch League teams, like now you have San Francisco Shock. If Philadelphia Fusion were to stay, the LA Gladiators, Dallas Fuel.
Washington.
So,
but here's,
Washington.
here's also the thing, though.
Washington Listeners.
A bunch of the players have been responding to this Philadelphia tweet about them moving to APAC with little things that seem to indicate that they're going as well, which I don't even know whether they are like leaks or anything. It might just be mistranslations by the
Trolling.
players. Yeah, or trolling as well. But XC has responded something to the Paris guys saying, meet you in Korea. Hisu responded something like, yeah, me too, about going to Korea, kind of alluding to the idea that Dallas and Toronto would be going over there, which it would make sense for either of those teams to go over. But I don't think Toronto is, because I've spoken to Logix recently and I know that he is in Toronto. So I'd be really surprised if Toronto is going over to APAC. But I could see some other teams going over as well. So I'm reluctant to say either way that there's like a better region right now, because we literally don't know how many teams are going to be in both regions. Well, are you classing NYXL as APAC or NA? Because they should be NA.
APAC, I think.
Okay, so you're going based off last season, but with Philadelphia in APAC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's unreasonable to say that NA is a stronger region. I think there's more better teams in NA right now.
So I would also assume,
but I don't think that'll stay the same.
If London goes European, I don't think they would go to Korea, right?
No. But then I don't think London are even in the argument about a good team to scrim against, whether they stay full Korean or not.
Well, I was just for clarity's sake, I was just saying they were going the other way.
Yeah. I don't know. If mate, I've really enjoyed Korea. Like if you asked me where would I rather live, America or Korea, I would rather live in Korea.
Don't tempt me, Bren.
Yeah.
But I'll take it tomorrow.
Just off the, bro, I've been so close so many times. Just that, yep, 2-week quarantine. Yeah, no worries, pal. I'll be there. Don't you worry.
You would leave Kurt?
I mean, I would still do Plat Chat. I'd just be off a laptop.
Kurt, you
And a webcam
come with,
mic.
right? Kurt, you go.
What?
Would you go to Korea?
Maybe. Probably after
Plat Chat
quarantine.
Korea,
I wouldn't want to
baby.
quarantine
Plat
for
Chat
2 weeks.
Korea.
Do they have T-Mobile in Korea?
Don't know, actually. Maybe they do.
We could bring it to
know.
Korea.
Yeah, I mean, I
That's
don't
some
know.
big brain stuff, man.
If I was a European player, though, like Poco, who else is European on this team?
Shockwave. He's Danish.
Shockwave, yeah. Like, I would feel more comfortable in Korea than I would in America, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all like personal preference, I guess, though, right? Like,
Sure, but
Yeah,
in
it
terms
is.
of like the similarities
go
to
there.
European culture, I feel like Korea's got it, and it helps as well though. But they're going to be mingling with their Korean teammates. They have appropriate staff, like Johnny was saying, like to help them with the process. It's not
Is this
like
like an
Johnny when
ad
he
to
was
move
there
to
with Misfits
Korea?
or hey.
Is this like a move to, it's all move to Korea ad? Is this like
Bro,
a,
I'm fucking down. I am so down, honestly.
Let's do
that
it.
country was amazing. I would absolutely be down. No cap. Yeah. You want to talk about New York?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
They've slipped under the radar.
Yeah, is this a rumor or is this actually official?
No, they made this official, didn't they?
Yeah, it's
This is
official.
official? Okay. Yakpung and Bianca as the...
Why am I hesitating now?
yeah, well, no, sorry.
I'm
I'm...
yeah, they announced it on Twitter.
Yeah, they
My-
announced it. Johnny wrote it. Yeah.
I
They
know.
announced it
No.
same day as Florida, I think. So it kind
My-
of got like hidden, I think.
It did, yeah.
My head is full of air, so I don't know what's real and what's not.
What is it
Oh, yeah, it's
normally
announced.
filled with?
Brain matter.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
okay.
I am...
kind of like this New York team that's forming.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't...
going to stamp a big old meh on it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Why, Josh?
Because
Poor Johnny.
The
I
thing
got
with
Johnny on edge. Yeah, I can see you looking around your monitor for the fucking social link.
I mean,
I did.
I don't hate anything that New York are doing right now. They had a team that wasn't performing over the course of 3 years at the level that was expected of them. They wanted a title. They wanted a championship. They weren't delivered a championship. Okay, that's fine. Rebuild the team. And at this point, you can tell by the pieces that they're acquiring that they're looking for long-term kind of changes.
Right.
This is not a team that has been drafted to get them a championship in 2021. Or if it is, then they're delusional. There's just no chance, right? In the competition next year.
This is a team to build for the future. Like, you have a lot of good young pieces that you hope develop into something.
And I mean, you're saying a lot of young pieces, but I mean, we're talking about there was the rumor about there was the rumor about Feather being signed as well. But I mean, at the moment, there's no rookies that have actually been signed to the team. They've got Bianca back on, someone that they hadn't actually gotten much use out of, and then Yakpung, somebody that was pretty poor the last time he played, but has been doing well in contenders.
God, this guy's shield management was the most horrible thing I've ever seen in my life.
He was. I mean, remember Yakpung on Toronto, right? I mean, it was.
I'm not going to mince words,
yeah.
but God bless him. People can change. I've improved some heroes myself, and I know what it's like. So, Bianca, I'm not going to leave that mark in you forever.
We're all rooting for you.
Wait, don't you mean Yakpung?
You mean Yakpung?
Yakpung, yes.
You just went at Bianca for no reason.
Yeah. That fucking Bianca guy. No, I'm kidding. I love you.
I'm with you guys. I'm pretty meh. I'm in the middle. I'm like the what they call the thing that measures earthquakes, the seismometer.
Yeah, the seismic scale.
The seismometer.
Yeah, what is
it's
it
not
called?
moving. Who's picture is that? Is that Bianca's picture?
What is that?
That's cute.
Bianca,
Super cute. Look at it.
Yeah, look at that. Wow.
The little beans.
All right, I'm a Bianca fan.
I think though, like, this team can remain competitive and like rebuild kind of at the same time though. Like, I think that's kind of your goal if you're New York. Like, not like totally blow it up to the point that you can't compete at least for like playoffs next year, and like play teams pretty tight. You put yourself in a position to do that. I just don't think you put yourself
all teams made the playoffs this year from APAC. So if your goal is to make playoffs, you can make playoffs. But are they gonna be in the like top half? Are they playing in APAC or are they playing in NA? I'm assuming they're gonna play in APAC.
I'm gonna assume APAC, yeah.
Because
I'm gonna assume APAC is up.
Yeah, because it's a full Korean roster and they played in APAC last year. But when you compare them to like Seoul, Shanghai, Philadelphia, Hangzhou, you don't have them above any of those people.
No.
Are they going to be competitive with Chengdu and Guangzhou? Is the answer?
I think so.
Is the question.
I think they can. I think what you're banking on is they're competitive with them. Hangzhou doesn't kind of live up to the promise, and that they can kind of be somewhere where they were last year in like the 3 to 4 range, right?
I mean, they're definitely going to be lower than they were last year, I think. I just don't think there's any chance that they're not, because APAC has essentially replaced London with Philadelphia. So you're going down a spot no matter what, probably. And looking at the way that this roster is constructed, I don't know. Depending on who the final two pieces are, they might be on paper the weakest team in APAC at the moment.
Yeah.
Whoa,
I mean, it could also go that way as well. Yeah.
God almighty, that is...
Do you guys agree? I think it's pretty possible. Like,
it's possible.
I'm not convinced by Guangzhou's roster either right now. Like, I think it's okay, but
God, that's a world.
It's hard to know when they don't have a
wonky.
full roster. But
wow,
yeah, it's gonna be tough for New York to stay competitive. I think they're gonna feel like another London this year.
I would not say another London. Slightly better. I'm not at a point where I'm comfortable making assumptions or guesses, but this, I mean, it's rough. It's rough. The APAC region is is condensed, right word? No, it's dense with a lot of great teams for the most part. To be tough. I admire what they're trying to do, but I think a lot of fans will be upset that they didn't stay with the original roster.
But the original roster wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah, it was necessary.
Sometimes you just gotta enjoy life.
Yeah, but why would you, like, you would rather just sign up for another disappointing season to where you expected to do something that we all know deep down they're not going to do.
Maybe they should just temper their freaking expectations, man.
What
Yeah,
I
but
would have liked,
it's hard though.
what
I
I
mean,
would
they
have
have an
liked is for them
MVP
to
like
actually get rookies, like because I think the thing that people get excited about is upcoming rookie talent. I am not excited to watch Yakpung and Bianca play again in the Overwatch League. I've seen them play, and I know that Yakpung has improved because I've watched him in contenders, and he looks a lot better than what he's actually done. Like when
it was hard for him to get worse than what he looked in Toronto. I mean,
he did look really bad in Toronto. Yeah, like the guy actually did look like one of the worst main tanks when he was fielded back then.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I'm not excited about this roster at the moment, but there's still room to change because they've only signed 3 people officially at the moment.
All right, Josh,
Maybe
give him a
I'll- maybe
score.
I'll get more excited.
We're so nice and generous on this show. On some sports shows on ESPN, they were just been like, "Oh, these guys suck. They're screwing their fan base over. Screw these people." Blah, blah, blah. But on this show, we're just like, "Yeah, benefit of the doubt."
Give him a score out of 10, Josh.
A score out of 10
Give him a score out of 10.
is 5 average in the Overwatch League.
One bite. You all know the rules.
I mean, this sounds super harsh, but I'm going to go with a 2.
A 2? That's a rookie score.
Yeah, a 2
That's a
out of
rookie
10. Because
score.
if 5 is average in the Overwatch League, I
What is
think
a 5?
that these guys are not
Valiant?
going to be.
yeah, like
I
what
think
is
these
a
guys,
5?
A 5's like, yeah, sure, like a Valiant, like an Atlanta, something like
Give me a
that.
couple of more decimal points. Don't just do 2.
2.41.
Okay, good. Yeah, there you go. That's a good
Yeah,
score.
I would not say Atlanta would be last year. Atlanta maybe like a 4, Valiant 5, and I'd give this team like 3.4 with these players, 3.7 maybe. They have Jonak still.
I was marking them down a bit though as well because I'm not excited to watch them. Like they don't have players that I'm ready to tune in and watch. Now they haven't signed everybody yet though, so that could totally change. But at the moment, I'm not excited to watch Jonak play with Yakpung and Bianca. It just doesn't get my juices flowing.
Juices. Anyway,
I was going to say something inappropriate.
moving on.
Ooh.
Moving on to the to our next topic. Jjanu and RYUJEHONG talking retirement. Now, in here we've got RYUJEHONG considering retirement, but it's actually RYUJEHONG considering unretiring. And then Jjanu considering retirement, but RYUJEHONG considering unretiring.
No. Wait, no.
Yes.
Yeah,
Why do you say that?
Yeah, so
Because
Jaehong-
RYUJEHONG was on his stream
yeah,
getting pissed drunk, just enjoying life, and as we all do. Sometimes we've all been there, drunk as shit. I can go pro again. He wasn't crying, but you get the idea. Like the guy wants to go pro again. What he was saying on stream.
The clip I saw, he was just pretty happy. Why have you made it seem like he
Yeah,
was
I don't
just
know. Because when I drink, I get depressed. So
crying, just spooning ice cream into his mouth.
yeah, when I get drunk, I start thinking about my wasted potential as a youth.
You're just hardcore projecting.
I am projecting. Yeah, sorry, RYUJEHONG. Sorry, RYUJEHONG. Yeah, he is considering. I'm retiring though. He wants to play in a pro team again. And Jjanu was recently saying that he is considering retirement because I believe, has not been getting any options whatsoever. Or the options have been not what he wanted. Both of these.
I love this bullet point. He got more drunk and started dancing to weeb music.
Yes, how all retirements go, drunk on a stream, dancing to music.
Yeah, we've all been there. I'm telling you now, we've all been there.
I wish I could be there more often.
Let's start with Jjanu as opposed to RYUJEHONG here because it's the first one in the list. This would be so unfortunate if Jjanu ended up retiring and wasn't playing in the Overwatch League next year. But I mean, we've said in a previous episode, like the off-tank position is actually pretty hotly contested these days. And like in terms of teams that Jjanu could go to, is there one that needs an off-tank player that is aspiring for a top spot?
Soul Dynasty.
Oh,
I keep saying it every single week. Please, for fuck's sake, sign an off-tank Soul. If you guys genuinely field Marvel
Dynasty.
next year, I'm going to mold out of existence. I will cease to be if you keep fielding Marvel forever on off-tank and don't have him as like a backup to Gesture. I'm going to lose my shit.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. Why we haven't seen that yet, I'm not sure. But I mean, you at least need an off tank on the roster, right? I mean, you don't have Michelle anymore.
Yeah, they have
Michelle's with
2U on a two-way contract.
So I guess I mean they do
got
have one, but
I think he was a Soria player though for the most part. Was that?
He's played a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
He seems pretty capable at a bunch of different stuff, but I mean, Jjanu's just such a natural fit that there must be some major reason why, because it just makes so much sense from the outside.
What about New York upgrading from Bianca?
Yeah, I would be more excited.
I mean, if they're gonna rebuild, I mean, you don't really need Jjanu, right?
I don't know. Anyway, I mean, give Jjanu a home. I feel like there's not much more that needs to be said other than this. It would be incredibly upsetting.
I would like to take a moment to just say, imagine, just for a moment, pause and think about how fucked that previous Vancouver Titans roster got. Oh my lord. Haxel retired. So-Min Soo on some kind of crazed redemption arc, actually, is one of the only players that has managed to come back based of this. Slime has managed to survive, and Twilight has managed to survive.
Yep.
The others, Haxel, Stitch, Jjanu, Fisher, RYUJEHONG, Bumper from previously, too.
Rappel is still around.
Yeah, Rappel is still there as well, yeah. But the rest have just been sacrificed and scattered to the winds.
Yeah.
This is like, that team was looking like they were on a path to battle with the Shock for greatest of all time roster. Genuinely, they were in that kind of conversation if they had been able to perform the year afterwards. They probably wouldn't have managed to keep up with the Shock at all, but they were in the running. It's crazy. They just poof
into the wind.
I don't like to think about it, Josh.
It's painful. It's fucking painful.
It is painful.
We were robbed of one of the all-time great teams. And
it was a legendary
roster.
Think of the amount of history that Runaway had as a team.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get a couple of beers out. Let's really make this a fucking podcast.
Yeah, pour one out.
Let's start reminiscing. Let's pull up some old VODs.
No,
I don't want to
pull out some Apex. Pull out some Apex.
No, I'm not going to start drinking beers.
Pull out some Apex Season 1.
Let's pull out some
If
Apex.
Bren got a beer, Matt would be the only one not drinking.
Let's start.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh no,
I'm not drinking. I've already
off.
finished.
Oh, I can't see any of you again.
I mean, we all have the same faces we have on. Pretty
but I
much
like to see
the
screen so I can.
Yeah, but I'm just
work,
describing
don't
it to you, so it's fine.
Yeah, describe to me what scene we're on. Actually, let's just continue. Fuck it. RYUJEHONG though would be interesting if he came out of retirement. What team would he play on though? The question.
I mean, there isn't a good one. Is the short answer?
Yeah, there's not like a great fit.
Yeah,
because
it's tough.
Yeah,
I feel like he'd be more of the RYUJEHONG guy and more than like the actual star flex support player. And that's not to discredit his skills. I think, like we mentioned on so many other roles, most teams are looking for a flex support that is relatively young, that has the star level potential or skill already that they can lean on moving forward.
Well, he said in the post.
Get like a cheap flex support, for like like league minimum. RYUJEHONG's not going to be that guy. RYUJEHONG's not going to take a league minimum contract. If it did, I'd be disappointed in him.
Yeah.
He's such a legendary player in terms of just the marketing aspect, though. From picking this guy up, like you actually just instantly become one of the more popular teams just from picking him up.
You know what's crazy about Overwatch is that people simply cannot transition from role to role effectively at the top level. And so it leads to this enormous player turnover. Like in any other esport, someone like JJehong would move over to playing main support or something or like, I don't know, some lesser kind of more supportive role where he doesn't have to be the cracked out kiddo hitting all the shots.
Like when people in CS
the veteran
get older,
presence.
They turn into the lurking role or an IGL or
that kind of stuff where they can support the rest of their team. In Overwatch, there's just top players can't play a multitude of roles as well as everybody else. So there's just I was gonna say, wouldn't it be cool if JJehong decided to pick up like main support and play
Lucio
as like a veteran presence in one of these teams? But it's just not a reality we live in. Like, when has that ever happened for anyone in Overwatch? I think that's one of the primary reasons, by the way, that we have so much turnover. Yeah, Custer
did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Cussa did it.
Yeah, he did actually.
That's a really good point.
Cool Matt played DPS, right? And then he played
Off-tank.
way back.
Off-tank?
Yeah, then he played off tank. Yeah.
Nevix.
Nevix played all
Kib.
of it. Yeah. Oof.
Yeah, but these aren't people who transitioned to like.
No,
keep
they
their
just changed
careers
roles.
alive.
Cruz is
Yeah.
a Genji player.
Oh yeah, Cruz actually is one of the examples though, because he genuinely did go from like DPS to main support. But if we saw that more in the league or just more in general in Overwatch, then I think there'd be more veteran presences around. But as it is, there's just ridiculous high player turnover because if you're not good enough at your role where all the cracked out kiddos are,
Why would people give you a try at another one? Like
exactly.
Taimo played main tank for a few matches.
Shut up.
RYUJEHONG played main tank.
Get him back in. RYUJEHONG.
RYUJEHONG.
Release
It'd
the
be cool.
beast
It'd be
within.
cool.
I remember at that time, in moment. Sorry, Bren. I'm just a bit of a nostalgia trip. I remember that match. It was on Numbani. I think it was in 2018. Yeah, and Matt got the question from Mitch, and Matt had the job of deducting between two anonymous stat cards whether who was Miro and who was RYUJEHONG, and Matt picked correctly because Miro had more primal rage efficiency, while RYUJEHONG had the better overall stats in eliminations, final blows, and deaths.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, all you had to
That's
do was
pretty
watch
intelligent,
Primal
Matt.
Rage and you would have got that one right as well.
That was one of those moments where I was like, wow, Matt exceeded all my expectations in terms of logical sense. Jesus Christ. Because you thought on the spot about the primal rage efficiency must mean that that's more a veteran main tank player. When most people, God bless him, they would have been like, I'm live on a broadcast, I'm put on the spot, I'm going to say the guy with the better stats is probably Miro because he's the like Winston player. No, you're just like the
come on, man. Anybody in the chat at that moment, if they watched Miro, they knew he did not have the better stats. I mean, come on now.
Matt's kind
Let's
of
call a spade a spade. I mean, that guy, he did not play very good.
Matt's kind of like an older me, I've realized.
That is so insulting on many levels.
Because I've realized that you've got the
I've actually never been insulted more than by somebody saying you're an older Bren.
I think it's true.
Yeah,
I don't think I've ever want to been on this show less than I do right now.
You've got the dumbass himbo persona on lock, like me. But in reality, you're actually quite intelligent. You know.
I just put it on because we need views and it's funny. So I
do have a thought behind those eyes. There is intelligence behind those eyes, and like somehow you've transitioned into like this business rollout. It's very impressive.
Yeah, and it's probably due to those bats, man.
Probably, yeah.
X Factor.
I don't have a bat.
What bat?
I mean, that's the difference maker.
Oh, I thought you said bats. I was like, it's like, wait, do you have bats? I was like, what the hell are you talking about? I was like, I do not have many bats.
You're like an older me, Matt. You're like an older me.
No,
except you weren't as successful
wants to be like Matt when he gets older.
Yeah,
what were you doing at 24?
Like me. I don't know. I was doing COD. I was doing COD events.
Okay, you were probably more successful than me. I take that back.
Oh yeah, for sure, yes. Yeah, I was way more established than you. Yeah, by this time, yeah.
Anyway, Agilities. Agilities has gone back to the Los Angeles Valiant. That's pretty cool.
I like this. Yeah, I like this video too. This is a good video.
What video? I can't fucking see.
Kurt's playing a video of me. I thought we were about to watch a video of Agilities, but I'll watch footage of myself.
What is? I don't know. Don't even. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm moving on. Agility's going back to the Los Angeles Valiant. This is a move that. Okay, I got a couple of thoughts on this, and then you guys, I'll pass the talk and stick to someone else.
Do it.
A downgrade over KSF.
I mean,
but an upgrade in terms of the marketability of this team. And in terms of getting an old school player and getting back some of those old school Valiant fans that have maybe lost the franchise.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate this move. Like,
and when I say a downgrade in terms of KSF, that's quite insulting to Agilities. I think Agilities is quite a skilled player, but I think the peaks that KSF was able to perform at are pretty high up there. I think the guy's pretty cracked. It's hard to really come close to him in a lot of regards. Agilities is a very serviceable player for the Overwatch League, but I don't know if he's going to be reaching the same peaks as KSF. That's a nicer way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna make too big of a deal about it. I don't know if I agree with you, Bren, but at the same time, I feel like Agilities just kind of plays the role here of like the role player bench dude that subs in if like Genji ever becomes meta, right? I feel like it's a bit of fan service, but at the same time, it kind of like makes sense. Like they're able to make this change because it's not a huge deal.
I think you're underselling it a bit. He is the only projectile DPS on this team. And when you have like, I think he's going to be the primary Echo player, primary Pharah player, primary Genji player, primary Doomfist player, probably the Hanzo player if that's meta as well, though perhaps that would be KSP depending on what the meta actually ends up being at that time. But I think there are definitely a bunch of different metas where we could see Agilities getting playtime. And I think there are certain ones in which he's better than KSF. Like I was still really impressed by how Agilities was playing when it came to like the Summer Showdown, but that was almost like literally, could you devise a meta that was better for Agilities than give him all the resources and let him Dragon Blade? I mean, that is literally him to a T, isn't it? You couldn't get any better than that.
He wouldn't have picked a good enough hero pool.
If you asked him to pick, he wouldn't. So I do think it's, a little bit of fan service sprinkled in there, but I think he's going to get a lot of playtime as well. I think unless Shaxx is planning to.
Yeah.
Do I think
is that good for the LA Valiant?
I
don't know.
I don't think he's going to be league average on a lot of those heroes. No, I think that the majority of the teams that the Valiant are going to be competing with, their flex DPS is going to be better than Agilities, I think. Is that actually going to matter though? I don't know.
I don't know if it will matter.
I don't think it'll matter as much in the grand scheme of things. Like if you put if you went back and said, hey, they still have KSF, how many more games do they win potentially with KSF than Agilities? Like I don't know if moves the needle in wins and loss.
No.
And if it does, what is it? One game? Is it maybe even no games? Considering like if the meta never really kind of goes that way, like I don't know if it makes that big of a difference. But what I do know though is that like his brand is massive for this organization.
He's a very likable guy. Like Brady is fun. I think Brady in the league is good for Overwatch League. Like I genuinely think Agility is one of the more likable players in the league because he's not like this overly hype persona. He's not like super energetic, but he's chill. He's a fun guy. He's Genji player. Everyone loves a good Genji player. It's like he's fun. Like So we were doing the Valiant as a person or personality. He's just we talk about his gameplay here.
Yeah, we were doing the Valiant Winter Ball, and in the commercial breaks, they kept playing stuff from old school Valiant content, of which one of them was the cooking show that Agilities did with Kariv, and it's fucking wonderful. Like it's so good because Agilities is just trying to do it properly, and Kariv's just a fucking chaotic good character. He's wild. So yeah,
he lives to consume food.
I like this move overall.
Yeah.
I don't think he's the most skilled player in that like pack of teams that the Valiant's going to be competing with, but I don't think it's going to make too much difference. And he's just a good dude that's pretty skilled at the game, and he has a big fan base.
I'm pleased for him. I'm pleased that he's still in the league. Quite like him. I'm
happy for Valiant fans as well. After multiple years where you lose Custa, you lose Space, you lose Kariv, like. You finally you lose Agilities. You finally get like somebody back.
Also, we didn't talk about Adam when he first joined the Valiant.
That's a good point.
But now that we're on the topic, they've picked up Adam too. He's an off-tank player that previously played in Oceanic contenders, and he looks decent. I don't know how good he is. I don't watch Oceanic contenders. I honestly never have watched Oceanic contenders because it's not been a competitive region at any point, honestly. But
that's a lie.
From the small amount
you watched it early on.
I watched it early on when we weren't sure. Yeah, I watched a lot of it like in 2017, 2018, but not since then. But from the little that we saw in the Valiant Winter Ball, he seems all right. Like, I didn't really notice that much. Didn't notice him play particularly. Didn't notice him like hard feeding. He got caught out of position a number of times, but it wasn't anything insane.
I'm sorry.
If you guys
laughing.
watch, sorry, go on, Bren.
I'm sorry for laughing. I'm just these last 5 minutes have been just chaos. Chaos.
You guys are having a great discussion, and our TV is just becoming sentient. Like, I swear. Like, the TV has been saying HDMI is disconnected, but going up in OBS, just audio is coming through. And then the screensaver on the TV comes up. Bren's like, okay, I'm going to...
But the screensaver, I've never seen it before, by the way. Never seen this fucking screensaver before. It's a clock moving around slowly. I'm like, what the fuck? So I get the remote, I press down, and suddenly it's working again. I can see you all. And yeah, anyway, sorry. Yeah.
Is that the TLC TV we got from Hex in 2018?
Yes.
Oh,
It needs to be
wasn't even
replaced.
working back then.
It
was
needs to be
barely
replaced.
functioning back then. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
it needs to be replaced. Sorry for laughing at the conversation topic. Very serious.
No, it's not really that serious. This is one of those times. If you watch Plat Chat Valorant, you can go to youtube.com, Plat Chat Valorant. Good podcast, check it out. This is one of those times where you just kind of like, you just put faith into Packing 10, Gunba, and Hunter. And you just trust them. You're just like, okay, Adam, you're good. Nice. Good luck.
You just gotta trust the process. Although, having said that, I mean, the Valiant do very thorough trialing processes for their players, but they have missed on a couple of the players they picked up, like that they thought were high value. They weren't really keeping up with a lot of the rest of the league. But we'll have to wait and see with Adam as an individual. I think. Let's talk about a sister team a little bit. Is it a sister team? I suppose it is. Same region, same city. The LA Gladiators. Because they won the Valiant Winter Ball. Very, very impressed with the Gladiators coming out of this tournament. This is the best look that the Gladiators have looked like in their entirety of an existence of an organization. They look very strong. They look primed and ready to finally break into the upper section of teams when league play kicks off again.
So I didn't watch the matches. What the hell are you guys talking about?
Okay, so these four teams played a tournament against each other, a show match tournament, right? It was the Valiant, the Gladiators, the Mayhem, and Atlanta Reign.
Oh, yes, I saw your outfits. That was about it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's pretty similar to the Shanghai Masters tournament that just happened with all of the Chinese organizations over in Asia too.
Yeah.
And these show matches, they often happen in the off season of the Overwatch League, and teams take them relatively seriously, like a scrim. You know, you're playing, you're trying to win, but you might not have had the best preparation. You might still not quite have figured out what the best team comps to run in the meta are, that kind of stuff. But what you can notice are people that fit within a team structure really well and individual players that pop off. And the Gladiators, just all across the board, their coordination was wonderful. Like, from the way that Muse was syncing up with Kevster was really, really good. The individual talent of Kevster and Birdring and Mirror, actually, when he was put in to play the Echo, all really good. The backline and the way that they had already started to integrate skewed into it, as like they were running skewed on Brig at times as well, so that they had like Zen Brig in the backline with Shu skewed, and then Moth would come in to play some Brig and some Mercy and some Lucio as well, I think. It just looked like a clean system where everyone was coordinated with some really good players. I mean, you could not ask for more if you're a Gladiators fan this early on in the offseason.
I don't know if you guys had the opportunity to talk to any of these teams, but did you get a sense of like how much they've been practicing already? Like, have they started anything towards like...
No, we're not sure.
I don't know.
Okay.
Didn't Moth tweet that he only had one scrim with the team or something? I'll look on Moth's Twitter right now. I'm pretty sure I tweeted about this.
If that is the case, that is very impressive. I mean, the rest of the team might have been scrimming for longer, but the coordination was definitely there, which you could tell was lacking from some of the other teams. Definitely willing to give a pass to pretty much every team involved if they didn't live up to expectations.
I'll say I want to see. I hope this becomes more of a thing in the off seasons where the teams host it would be nice to even see like I don't want to say this was like not like incredibly serious, but something like more of a larger like tournament put on by one of the teams in the offseason.
Yeah, it'd be really cool.
I think it's just good to
I'd
see
like
more
it.
Overwatch, right? And I think the like you kind of get a sense of what the rookies are coming into the year. You kind of get a little bit of a rivalry early on. I would love for this to become more like the norm, you know?
Yeah. I mean, in terms of rookies, like for the Gladiators, I was mad impressed with how good Muse looked. I knew that he'd be pretty good because he was pretty good in contenders. Or rather, he was really good in contenders. So you know he's at least going to be pretty good in OWL. But he immediately came in and he looks mechanically skilled. He was well coordinated with the team. He wasn't just trying to make big plays all the time. He was just actually playing where the team needed him at all times. And he just, it was just flowing really nicely. I
love that.
I think
when
he's going to be
team has good
damn
flow.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's nothing better.
On the other
Nothing
side
better.
as well, for the Atlanta Reign, Pelican is a freak.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's been fantastic in contenders, and whenever his DPS partner proper becomes available as well, which I think might be next year, or it might even be the year after, but that guy's nutty too. He's immediately going to be one of the best rookie talents available. But Pelican was he was probably the best individual player that I saw in this tournament. That I think did Atlanta Reign make it to the final, I think, right? It was Reign Gladiators in the final, I think.
Believe
And,
so. Yeah. Believe so.
Pelican looked like a crackhead in all of the games that I watched. I didn't watch them all, but in all of the games that I watched, he looked fantastic.
But is that enough to change the Atlanta Reign going into next
It definitely
season?
gave me higher hopes, honestly, for the Atlanta Reign. I'm not kidding. I don't think there was anyone lower on the Atlanta Reign than me. But it gave me much higher hopes.
Josh was pretty low.
I was pretty low on them, yeah.
No, I was lower. I think
Bren was disastrously low. He was in the doldrums.
I was at disaster levels of this team. I was like blow it up levels. But I felt like there was some potential with this team. Pelican maybe skewed my vision for this team, like where my expectations where they should be set. But I think I definitely don't. Previously, I thought they were going to be at the bottom, with some of the worst teams in their region. But this looks like a team that, with time, absolutely could compete with the middle of the pack.
I think they will compete with the middle of the pack. I mean,
yeah.
I thought they would be at the bottom of the middle of the pack, just underneath Valiant, Houston, Florida, Toronto, those kind of teams. But I don't know, man. I think it might just be this meta, because this meta is so easy for DPS players to have a large impact on the game, because it's not shields everywhere. Everyone was playing basically the ball Sigma kind of compositions where it's minimal shielding. Your Echo can pop off when he's playing the Hanzo. He can pop off, that kind of stuff. Edison and Pelican were having an enormous impact in these games
the podcast,
on an individual
Jack.
level.
What the fuck you want? Come here. Come
God
here.
almighty.
What do you want, Jack? You thought I was in my room? What are you trying to show me? He's embarrassed. He doesn't want to show me.
Yeah, I think it might just be this meta, though, where the Atlanta Reign looked extremely good because Pelican was popping the fuck off. I'm reluctant to say my faith in Atlanta has gone up, but I feel even better about Pelican than I did. Like, I knew Pelican would be good, but I wasn't really convinced that he would be the best rookie that came into next year or anything. Now I feel like he's probably going to be in the running.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we were saying it when we were commentating some of their games. Next topic. We're going to move this along, guys, by the way. I don't know if you've realized, but it's approaching midnight. So
it's your job.
It is my job. You're correct. Yeah. Collegiate player Joobi. Joobi. Let's go with Joobi. He's gone to the Houston Outlaws. Now, when we say collegiate player, this is a guy who had the potential to play. And I think he did play in Tier 2, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
He played for Second Wind.
Right.
A bunch, I think.
Absolutely more than capable of playing contenders. Just happens to play in a collegiate, essentially, is the way this is working out. So collegiate player is the clickbait title. But in terms of a raw pickup, I think Houston is at that stage in terms of where they're building their roster, where they are essentially seeking out high-risk high reward players is what I would say. Is they're in that kind of process where a lot of the good solid foundation pieces that are probably going to be charging a premium are gone. They have gone to other teams, but now it's the time to be building up maybe some of these rookie players that will be coming up. So yeah, I don't really know what to think of this team because again, I'm in the same boat as you guys. Not really sure where to place a lot of the contenders talent coming into the season yet, but I do have faith in Houston Outlaws as an org, and I think that this year is the Outlaws' year. Maybe not to win it all, but to do better than they have previously.
Okay, yeah, okay, you got me there with better than what they've done in the past. I think this is cool just to highlight. Like, I think it happens in well, it doesn't happen, but they're kind of like pushing for more. I know in like League of Legends is like for teams to recruit out of like the college ranks. So I think it's kind of cool to see that you can go, whether it's from tier 2 or take a little bit of a different route to get scouted at the professional level, where I've casted some college events for Overwatch, been to the one in Harrisburg. It's like a huge one, obviously not this year with COVID, but always a ton of teams, always a ton of players. So there's a ton of talent who is trying to go that route to make it to Overwatch League.
I think when I look at the Outlaws roster, they have a lot of bets that need to pay off for them to be a good team. Like they have a pretty high risk, medium to high reward kind of roster here, where you've picked up a tank line that looks promising, but you're not 100% sure that they're going to be able to compete at the top level across all metas. You have Crimzo in the backline, who looks, again, pretty promising, but he was on a team that kind of fell to pieces, and you're hoping you can get more out of him than you saw in Dallas. You have Joobi alongside Crimzo. So, again, there's another player that you're taking a bit of a risk on. And then you have the Dante Hydration Happy DPS line. I do feel fairly confident in that you're going to get consistent performances from them, but you're definitely taking risks with your tank and support line here. And if a couple of them don't pay off, it could kind of tank the season, even though the ideas were good.
Do they still have Boink for sure?
No, so this was what I
Okay.
was waiting for. I went to Wikipedia because I thought they did, and then it says in former players Boink, leave date 20th of 11.
20th of 11.
20th of November.
20th of November. And then I clicked on the source because I was like, I haven't seen this tweet or anything, and it says on the source, inside source.
Yeah, because someone's told the Liquid
gained this information from a trusted inside source.
Yeah, the Outlaw. Yeah, I can. Yeah, Boink is not on the team, but he. I don't think he has been for a while. He was just signed to a contract for this year.
Exclusive Sideshow announces.
No, it's already on
No
Wikipedia.
longer on the Houston Outlaws.
It's already on Wikipedia, man.
No.
You can't paint that as
That's
if I'm
pretty
just
good.
fucking
Kurt, roll the tapes.
I like that.
Jesus Christ.
I think we fucking let's run with that as a clickbait title. I like that.
Oh,
Plat
God.
Chat special
Boink.
announcement.
Fucking
Heard it
It's
here,
pretty
Boink.
funny. That's
Nobody
pretty
knew
funny.
the fate of Boink except for us.
I genuinely thought he still was on the team.
I think, we
I-
I think we looked at the roster like last week or the week before, and we were saying he was still on the team because he was still
Yeah.
like listed.
But I mean, there was no way he was actually going to be played because he hadn't played a game since like March 20.
Why not? This is the
19.
year
Sure,
of
but
Boink. He's gonna
Joby
rise
is
up.
17. Joby turns of age in
Oh,
April.
come on. I
So
mean,
it's like maybe if Boeing plays a few games.
no, it ain't. No, it's yeah.
Anyway,
It does. It didn't
2021
make
is
sense.
the Boink party.
No, it's
Toronto
not.
Defiant.
Poor Boink.
Yeah. What?
That tickled you? That tickled your Kurt?
The Boink
That little
party.
transition?
Excited. Excited.
Yeah, that was a clean transition, right?
Yeah.
Toronto
Right,
Defiant.
transitions are just like, let's talk about Toronto Defiant. As he looks at his phone to figure out where we're going.
Yeah, it's my runner show on here, baby. Nice. 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 Nice.
What?
They're coming from T1. I'll tell you that for free. There you go. Plat Chat exclusive.
Plat Chat
Run with it. Go on, boys.
Yeah.
What we got?
he's really, really sick. I
Yeah.
mean, this guy has been pounding in contenders
I
for,
was gonna say.
I mean, it feels like years at this point. Is it
Yeah.
years? He has been tearing the
Spain.
world up. And he's only just turned, well, he hasn't even turned 18. He turns 18 January 20th. But I mean, how many years has this guy actually just been pounding? Yeah, since 2018. I mean, he has a semifinals appearance in Contenders Season 1 of Korea when he was playing for Meta Bellum. And then he moves over to the Philadelphia Fusion and then T1 because they traded him over in like a swap with Who Are You or something at the time. But he's a fucking sick player. This guy is a beast.
Okay, on that line of thought, what the hell does Beast do on this roster with Logics with 5 Koreans?
Hangs out, bro.
Because now this signing makes me infinitely more confident with the Toronto Defiant. Like, I actually love what they got going now, because they have Sado, Michelle, Hisu, Neist, Aztec, and Anson J. Obviously, I haven't seen that much of Aztec and Anson J yet. That's why I said the thing about, scouting Korean contenders on my stream at some point. They will do it. But nice on this team. I mean, like, they got some good shit going here, KDG.
Yeah.
I'm holding my KDG stocks.
Imagine if Jjanu went to Toronto.
They have Michelle.
Yeah, but
Jjanu would be better.
Jjanu would be better.
Yeah.
I tell you what you do if you're Beast and Logics. If the team does end up playing an APAC, you just go for the ride. You know what I mean?
They're not playing in APAC, at least as far as I'm aware. I did a content piece with Logics like a couple of days ago, and he's at the Toronto house, and he said the other guys were joining him at some point.
Yeah, visas take a while, Josh.
Yeah, but I would be surprised if they were going to the Toronto house in there, like, to pick up Logics, put him in a suitcase, and take him back to Korea.
Visas take a while.
No reason.
You're a renowned leaker in this society. They know that to be careful around you.
Oh, right. They were just trying to throw me off the scent.
They're trying to throw you a bit of a red herring. Just chuck it in there, you know?
Did you do the content piece for, like, Toronto or, like...
No, for the Overwatch League. It'll come out at some point on the Overwatch League channel. So go and subscribe and like and, other stuff to them too. I didn't ask him too much actually about what their plans are for integrating with the rest of Toronto. But I think I think specializing makes it. Why are you showing this on stream?
Why are we
sharing?
sharing?
Specializing makes the most sense for Beast and Logics. Like, if Beast can just really nail down, I don't know, Ball or something, and that's his niche role on the team, and then Logics is just like hardcore long range hit scan, then maybe they can actually integrate them properly.
It's just creased.
Honestly, if
over
you're
by the PC.
I'm listening to you, Matt. Don't worry.
If you're what do you call it? If you're a Logics and even Beast, like, does it even matter if you play that much? You're probably just happy to be on a team that looks like it can,
I think it does matter.
Win.
Yeah. Because if you're a competitor, you still want to be playing. You want to be competing. Yeah, if you've got that competitive drive about you as a player, and sitting stagnant on the bench of a team is a one-way ticket to killing your career.
Well, I mean, if they weren't on this team, their career would be
possibly
dead this year as well.
You don't know that?
No, I don't know that, but I think it's quite... if your options are playing on a team where you can be used in a niche role that actually has a chance of success, and like playing for Vancouver, for example, I think Vancouver's going to kill your career more, even if you get playtime.
Maybe.
Yeah.
There's pros and cons. There's pros and cons. We can list them out. We can be here all night, actually. A little 2-hour episode on that. While
we're talking about Toronto as well, I just wanted to shout out Baroy, who's left the organization. Yeah. And I wanted to bring up a tweet from Benchmob, who is a friend of Baroy, but also I believe represents him too as like his agent. And he tweeted saying Baroy was deadlifting this org, meaning Toronto Defiant, in the offseason like a Vala. He ran NA trials by himself, acted in the GM position when Ableist left, provided individual feedback to every single player who trialed in the offseason, and then just got released when the offseason was over. That's fucking brutal.
Yeah, that is brutal.
Brutal. But look, we had this conversation one Plat Chat episode, and we don't know for sure. So this is obviously speculation, not making us like I am making assumptions, I guess. But like, it seemed like there was a change of direction within this org throughout the season.
Yes.
Sure.
The off season, you mean?
In the off season, sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, if you're Toronto Defiant, yes, he did all that work, and that was good for the org. That was what they wanted. But then, you know, just things shifted, and it sucks. Yeah. Is it really that cold of the org? Like, do you?
This
it really sucks.
happens.
Don't get me wrong, it sucks. But like, Toronto Defiant were in a position where they probably changed direction. I'm just assuming that they're like going full Korean at this point with what they have currently.
Well, except they're not full Korean, are they? Because they've got Beast and Logic.
No, they aren't. But like, I don't see Beast and Logic getting as much playtime as you say.
The way it looks in terms of the timeline, I agree with you, Johnny. It looks like at the beginning there was some sort of incentive to build like a Western team. There were the rumors that they were building a Western super team. Obviously, that fell through. And there was a change of direction. The KDG came in, and then suddenly it was just essentially Korean players coming in. Like, it definitely reads like there was the org saying, like, okay, we're not going to go in this direction. And then, I mean, one thing led to another. But
here's what I'll say before I leave it on that note, Bren. I don't want to leave it on a sour note from my part. Here's what I will say. That is very impressive from Baroy. And I think other teams should actually like look into the work he did this season if that is something they need for themselves. I don't want this tweet to be directed as like, hey, that was really shitty of Toronto Defiant. And let's leave it at that. Instead, let's rephrase the message. Baroy did all this shit for Toronto Defiant. If you need someone like him, maybe take the time to look into him as a potential GM, staff member of the sort, because he had experience with this, he did a great job, and he could be a good fit for your team.
Yeah, I've only heard good things about Baroy in terms of his work ethic.
Yeah.
His work ethic's outrageous from
like
what I hear.
There's certain people in any organization that you just want in a company, and he would be one of them, I think. There's a reason he was on the team for such a long period of time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's also like a genius when it comes to statistics and coding stuff as well, and like actually analyzing data. So he's useful in a variety of different ways. It'd be really unfortunate if he actually exited the scene and couldn't get
I think
some way of
like Johnny
funding
said,
himself
I think somebody will recognize kind of what he's done with Toronto and realize that their organization could benefit hugely from having somebody like this. Where I think I mean, you just be hopeful people like this get another opportunity and they continue to work within the scene, right?
Yeah, absolutely. To go on to a different note, the Overwatch Winter Wonderland goes live today.
Heck yeah!
Is it today or is it yesterday?
It's when the day this episode is released.
Airs, yeah.
I'm gonna be streaming Overwatch tomorrow, baby. I'm going all in. I'm getting all the skins. I'm gonna play Reinhardt with the buff damage.
You wanna boost me?
Go. No, I'm not gonna boost you. I'm going to play at my normal level. I'm going to play at my best level, my best performance in potentially your skill level.
I kind of want to. Yeah, can you pull up the May skin, Kurt? I don't know if
I love the Zen one.
Here it is.
That's May.
Is this a video? Yeah, it is.
Yes, it's a video.
Oh wow! I've never seen these skins before. That one is incredible.
Have you not seen the other one?
No, I haven't seen any of these skins.
Show the Zen one.
Phenomenal.
I haven't seen the Zen one either.
The Penguin one is amazing.
It is the best Zenyatta skin ever.
No way!
It's on par with Lego Bastion.
Dude,
Lego Bastion.
Dude, this Zen skin is fucking
really.
Sick. Yeah.
Okay, all right. You gotta show me this. You've hyped it up so much. I just saw it was called like the Toy Zenyatta or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. What is this?
That's normal Zenyatta.
Wait.
Oh my god.
That's incredible.
Fucking awesome.
It is a cool skin, actually. Yeah. The more I look at it, I was a bit underwhelmed at first because you hyped it up too much. But it is a cool skin.
What are the balls?
Puzzles.
Oh, they're like kind of Rubik's Cube.
Are they kind of like Rubik's Cube puzzles?
Ah, that's kind of cool. I didn't really get what they were at the beginning. His face is amazing, though. I mean, it's the face
Yeah.
that does it.
Mm-hmm.
His little smiley face.
Just look at him. He's so content.
God,
Isn't there
you'd feel like a boss just killing people while looking
I mean,
that dumb.
not a boss. I mean, I think you'd feel tranquil.
Sure, yeah.
That's a peaceful face. What were you going to say?
isn't
John?
there a video game character like from the 90s that kind of looked like this? Like it's a blue robot that like shoots like orbs of
Mega Man?
Is it Mega Man? Yeah, it reminds me of Mega Man a bit.
But it's not
a little
Mega
bit.
Man's
His
like
face doesn't look like
the
that.
face doesn't look like that, though, does it?
Oh, it's that fucking robot. But yes.
Mega Man isn't a robot though. He's a man in a suit, isn't he?
I think
Yeah,
he's
but
part
he's
robot.
blue. Sense orbs.
Mega Man
I
is like
guess.
part
I don't know.
robot, part boy.
Part
I
man?
think. I don't know.
His name is Mega Man.
Okay, well, part man, part robot. I don't know.
He's wearing underpants.
Maybe-
He's
I'm confusing him with
Oh, that's an
Astro
old,
Boy.
that's
Oh
an
my
old
God.
image of Mega Man. Get like the new Mega Man.
Yeah, what's the new Mega Man look like, Kurt?
I don't think he looks that much like Toy Zenyatta.
I mean, I can see the
What?
color scheme.
What,
They're
what,
blue.
you mean blue?
Yeah, it's blue. It's the same
That's it.
shade of
That's it.
blue.
Yeah, Toy Zenyatta looks like Sonic.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's new
Yeah,
Mega Man.
bro, that is not half robot. He is a
He's half
small boy
robot.
wearing underpants over the top of his clothes.
he's
and
half
he's
robot.
just
Dude, his arm is a cannon.
Yeah, it's
okay.
half
He
robot.
might have robot arms and legs, but his torso is definitely squishy and human.
I was obsessed with Mega Man as a kid. He had this like red little dog who like was a robo dog that used to go around with him, and they used to just fuck shit up. They were awesome.
What's
did
it
you-
called? Hugo?
No, I think he was called Robo Dog. I'm pretty sure that's his name.
Robo Dog.
Yeah,
What?
I'm pretty
Why
sure
were
it
you
was like a red
obsessed
dog?
with? Why were you obsessed with Mega Man?
Because these games are awesome.
Oh, okay. That is
Mega
a
Man
weird
games are awesome.
thing that I didn't expect to come out of your mouth.
What?
Yeah, I thought you would have just been into like shooters as a kid.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't ever think about you playing like side
I played a
scrollers.
ton of,
Like,
like,
Oh, he's too wholesome.
I played
He
a ton
would've
of
played
sports
Doom.
games and stuff. I didn't really play like I was gonna
What?
say I did play shooters for a bit, but like I played like Medal of Honor Allied Assault and like Return to Castle Wolfenstein, like those like
Oh, Medal of Honor.
way back. Yeah, Medal of Honor is awesome.
the
So
speed runs
I-
for these games are really good, by the way. The speed run for these games are.
Oh,
I've been
yeah.
watching a
fun
lot of
if you ever
speedruns
watch them.
recently.
Yeah,
I've been watching
speed run
Sekiro.
content is elite.
Sekiro
Oh look,
speedrun.
there was a little dog.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
dog.
Oh yeah.
and
Why don't we
you
do
had
a
different
general
like
gaming podcast.
you had like different like gun attachments and stuff. It was like super sick.
Oh dude, he's blowing these places up.
God, he's owning. This has
Ooh.
got to be a speed run, right? This guy's pounding.
Yeah.
No,
This is
this
a
is my
speedrun?
gameplay.
Yeah,
This
this is
is
speed run.
Matt's gameplay from when he was young.
When I was like 6.
This is actually a speed run?
Look at it. How could it not be a speed run? He's
You see
completing
how
the level in the
fast guy is
fastest time
going? He's
possible.
gonna, like
God.
C.
Oh yeah, I guess. Oh my god, look at him go. Oh, the side hops. Oh, long hop. Oh, ooh.
Oh,
Oh. Oh. Nice.
If this person did this at an arcade bar, they'd be so cool. They'd be
Good
so
clear.
popular.
Good clear.
We gotta
All
watch
right,
the
let's
boss
let's watch
fight.
him kill the boss.
All right, yeah, this is the boss fight. This is an important
If,
important skip coming up here.
If the blue one is Zenyatta, who is his opponent here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The red one?
It's
God,
very
yo.
I can't.
it's very like Mario-esque
Yeah.
where
yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty
Kind
cool.
of.
You know what's cooler though?
What?
Ren's Player of the Week. Presented by T-Mobile. Cut.
Oh.
Roll it.
Oh.
Is it not playing the audio? Who knows if you guys heard that?
I
We
didn't
don't
never
know.
do.
You never did. Well, I know you don't, you guys don't, but I didn't hear it either. So who knows? I
If you
don't know.
guys think you know what he said, put a comment down below.
It's played before. it's played before. So I recognize it from the mouth movements. It's when I went boo whoopee.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I recognize it from the mouth movements. My player of the week this week, presented by T-Mobile, is going to go to none other than Avala on the Paris Eternal for the hard work that she has put into forming the Paris Eternal roster over the course of this off-season by herself. a monumentous task, something that normally there are teams of people to do, yet Avala has honestly come up with a very respectable team, presumably against all the odds. So my player of the week goes to Avala this week. Yeah.
All right.
Nice. Well deserved. Well deserved.
Yeah. This is usually we always disagree, but I think this one's very hard to disagree with. This is a good one.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be disagreeing
job,
with any
Bren.
of my choices. It's my award.
Avala
We
also got
do.
promoted to the GM position as well, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, officially.
Did I
think,
just
yeah.
make that up?
No, I think officially she did, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think she was.
that's
She was
awesome.
team manager, and now she's general manager. So presumably that is a pretty decent promotion that she got going on there.
Yeah.
So yeah, everything's coming up Avala.
I think I would not be capable of running a team like that.
We know that. you don't need to say that. I mean, there's
I'm just
nobody...
I'm trying to give people the context because some people don't understand how good it, like how impressive it is. But if they
Has
know
anyone
that
ever said to you you would be good at running a team?
people look up to me, Matt.
Yeah, because you're tall.
Okay, but has anybody ever said to you, even the people that look up to you, you would be good at running a team?
Yeah, a couple actually.
Who?
I've spoken to Jake.
There is
Jake-
no way.
Jake was like, "Yeah,
Get
you'd be really
Jake on
good."
camera. There is not a chance that Jake would vouch for you to
Yeah,
lead
he
an
was-
organization.
Jake was like, "Yeah, Bren, I think you'd be really good as like you'd be like that guy that
What?
gives people pats on the back and bananas."
that's not
Pats on the
that's
back.
not lead a team.
I could lead a team.
That's the water boy.
No, I could lead a team.
He's essentially saying, "Oh yeah, Bren, you'd be good to have around."
I could lead
For
a
positive
team.
morale, like a mascot. You could cheerlead and throw bananas at people.
I could be a hit scan coach.
A hit
Wow.
scan coach.
I mean, that is even more specific than just like running the logistics. You're saying you could coach the hit
Okay,
scan
so
players
why
to
would
be
a hit
better.
scan player in Overwatch League listen to you, a player we have seen lose to multiple hit scan players?
Yep.
Without even getting a kill.
I don't remember that.
Only
happening.
one. Only
You
one
were in
without getting a
you were
kill.
in gold.
I don't remember that happening.
You don't remember being in gold?
No.
That was, I mean, that is a fact. We can look that up.
I don't think that
Indisputable.
happened.
Public.
don't think that
We've
happened,
seen you
but-
do it.
Yeah. You know who I thought you were going to give Bren's Player of the Week
Who
to
did you
this
think?
week? I thought you were going to give it to Striker.
So did I actually.
Really?
Oh,
Why?
I don't know whether you've seen this, Bren, because you are just the wokest human.
I am
who's
very woke
decided-
these days. I don't
you've
look
decided-
at. I don't look at social media. I don't know if I've told you guys.
Yeah.
I don't look at Twitter anymore.
You say it every episode.
Yeah, you've never told us that before.
Yeah, that's
I
But-
admire you, Bren.
Uh-huh. very
Striker
woke.
used Striker at the end of his MVP when he won MVP. He said in the interview afterwards that he was going to use the money to buy his dad a car,
Uh-huh.
and he recently just tweeted with the car that he bought
Oh.
for his dad using his MVP money.
Nice. That's
Actually,
lovely.
he didn't tweet it. Sorry, the SF Shock tweeted this. But yeah, it's just a wonderful little wholesome story of a boy helping out his family, providing a family car for them with the MVP Skrilla,
That's lovely.
That's awesome.
Wow.
which is pretty sick, really, isn't it?
The next image
Yeah.
is it showed a car.
What a G.
As of right now,
Wow.
don't have anything planned with my money. Just want to buy a car.
Lovely.
And there it is. Bought the car.
That is absolutely lovely. Me and Striker got something in
Yeah.
common. A little humble brag.
What'd you do?
Buy a car?
Little humble brag, you know?
Wait,
What?
did you buy a car?
Oh, sorry, what do you have in common?
Yeah, what do you guys have in common?
Bought a car for my mum, didn't I?
Did you?
Did you?
Yeah.
When?
When?
Recently, like literally yesterday.
Wait, what?
Why you did?
Wait, huh?
Yeah. I just didn't tweet.
Wait, what?
I just didn't
What do you
tweet it
mean?
for
You
clout
just
or
didn't-
anything.
you're
I
just
didn't
like,
put it
"Oh,
on
yeah, I
social
just
media
bought my mom a
because it's
car the other day.
a
Wait,
little
what?
bit weird,
How-
you know?
Why'd you do that?
I mean, it wasn't a brand new car, but
Right.
she needed a car, so I just bought one.
That's lovely,
a
Bren.
car.
Oh, that's good.
That's awesome.
Bren,
Yeah.
you deserve Bren's Player of the
No,
Week as
I
well.
don't. I didn't.
No, no, no,
Oh,
no,
I'm getting
no,
embarrassed.
You've gone too
No,
far
no,
there, Josh.
no.
No.
Shut the stream off, girl. I'm getting embarrassed. No.
What a wonderful little gesture.
I don't like.
That's very sweet.
All right, very nice. Where's he going?
He's just embarrassed about all the attention and he's left.
Yeah.
Why?
Well,
Bren
bye-bye,
doesn't
everyone.
Bren doesn't take praise very well.
Make sure to
So
like
good.
and subscribe.
Yeah, make
Yeah.
sure to like and
If you like
subscribe.
Bren, like the video.
If you can guess the number plate of Bren's car that he bought for his mum, we'll pin your comment.
We'll give you the car. No,
Oh
we
yeah,
won't do
weren't we
that.
gonna pin a comment from a few episodes ago about something? Remember?
I did. I went and I
Oh,
did
you
it.
did? Let's
Yeah,
see
of
it.
course
Let's
I
see it
did it.
real quick. Which was it?
It was I think it was last week's episode where they had to I've just realized Jonathan shaved. I didn't
Yeah, I
even
did.
realize.
It's gone.
We had to name Jonathan's mustache.
Do you know what
And,
triggered it?
What?
I was playing Classic WoW and raiding yesterday, and it just so happened that my girlfriend had friends over, and I felt like I was stuck in my mom's basement again, just playing Classic WoW. And I was like, what am I doing with my life? And I had like a realization where I was like, wow, I need to grow up. I need to become a man and actually do something with myself. And so I shaved my mustache because I wanted to stop being a little fool.
What?
That's hilarious. That is so funny. How
now
symbolic.
Back. Yep, we're
So,
back. We're back,
They
baby.
named, they named your mustache Julian. Johnny's
Why?
upper lip is awesome now. It's an acronym.
That is so stupid. It's great.
I hope it's still great, Matthew McCloskey.
Yeah, it's not
I hope
awesome.
it's
That's a
still
good
great.
one.
Your
Yeah.
upper lip is no longer awesome. It's bald.
You know,
Your
it's
name's
good, it's
Julian.
good to have a fallback. You know, if things go to shit with me, I can always fall back to having a mustache and that being my brand.
True.
I mean, that's
Plan B.
yeah, that's a good plan B.
Still going on.
Oh, look.
Yeah, you missed it.
It's the cute little boy who bought a gift for his mum. That's so sweet.
Yeah, whoa. You're an awesome son, Bren.
Yeah.
I'm happy
was
to
there,
call you my
I-
son.
Yeah, if I was there, I'd tuck your little cheeks like the good boy you are.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's some fanfic shit. Never mind.
I was like,
Are we
excuse me?
done with this episode? I
I
feel
think
like
this
we're done with this
episode's over, right?
episode.
You guys think the audio was like on or off when the TV turned off for the?
Oh,
for
I
the
hope it was
recording?
on.
Is it
You
over?
think it was on? No, I didn't end it yet.
It's not ended yet.
More fanfic next week. Tune in. Goodbye.
Bye.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks for helping
Bye.
the algorithm for listening for the past 3 minutes. Whoever's still here. Bye.
We still haven't ended.